Hey there guys, this is Richard, your host with another marvelous video. We can all agree that He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was not just a show. It was an emblem of the 80s, a cultural touchstone that redefined the landscape of children's entertainment. It effortlessly dismantled the notion that animated shows could only thrive on weekends, becoming a weekday sensation that deeply resonated with the younger audience.
I no longer have any need of your crutch. See?
Crafted with the intention of launching a successful toy line, Mattel unknowingly set the stage for He-Man's meteoric rise to popularity that evolved into a massive cultural phenomenon. Little did they anticipate that the inception of the toy line and the subsequent 1983 television series would birth a franchise of such colossal proportions. At its core, the show deftly wove positive social messages into its narrative, enveloping them within a cloak of action-packed drama. Amidst it all stood the titular gallant hero, He-Man, a character who swiftly took on legendary status. However, this juggernaut of a franchise emerged from a humble mission to bestow a rich backstory upon a toy line because these young enthusiasts needed context, a definitive story that would illuminate the distinction between heroes and villains, dictating how these characters could be brought to life. And so, He-Man swiftly transcended his origins to etch himself deeply into pop culture, a feat punctuated by 3 additional animated series, a cinematic release, and a plethora of comic books, all of which continue to wield considerable influence even in contemporary times. Even after traversing 3 decades, He-Man's vitality remains undiminished. But what's the worth of the most powerful man in all of universe without his diverse collection of frightening foes? Every good series is incomplete without its juicy villains. So, in this video, we'll cover each and every antagonist populating the vibrant universe of He-Man and giving our hero the opportunity to prove his stand on the mantle time and time again. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Receive the powers of Grayskull. This inevitable moment will transpire before your eyes.
Skeletor, this self-proclaimed overlord of evil, stands as the eternal adversary of He-Man, embodying malevolence itself. Originating from the dimension of Infinitia, Skeletor's wicked transformation sprang from his own corruption. His nefarious path led him to Eternia, propelled by a dimensional war's aftermath. With a skull-faced visage and azure skin, his insatiable hunger for power fuels his unrelenting quest to unearth the enigmatic secrets of Castle Grayskull, which he believes will grant him dominion over Eternia, crowning him the master of the universe. Throughout his run, we witness Skeletor ceaselessly clash with He-Man, the only invulnerable force capable of thwarting his ambitions. Initially, Skeletor emerged as a sinister interdimensional demon, his origins overshadowed by his wicked motives. Yet, the introduction of Hordak as his formal mentor briefly illuminated his past. A tantalizing hint emerged that Skeletor might have once been Keldor, King Randor's brother, shedding light on his transformation. This backstory evolution resonated profoundly in the 2002 franchise relaunch, transforming him into an ambitious and charismatic villain. Skeletor transitioned to the new adventures of He-Man, where he doggedly pursued He-Man through time, aligning with the evil mutants. His mastery of self-taught magic, harnessed through his Havoc Staff in the Shakaran Crystal, magnifies his might alongside his cunning strategy and mastery as a swordsman, even clashing with King Randor, highlighting his multifaceted threat. In a universe fraught with conflict, Skeletor's complex malevolence remains a timeless embodiment of villainy.
Long ago, the Triad was created by evil sorcerers at the command of the Dark Warlord, Hordak.
Hordak commands the Evil Horde, a ferocious army adorned with a distinctive red bat emblem symbolizing allegiance. Once the mentor of Skeletor, Hordak's narrative unfolds in a tale of betrayal and retribution. According to the lore, Skeletor entrapped Hordak in an alternate dimension before embarking on his own bid for supremacy over Eternia. Hordak's return was marked by a resolute vengeance, driven to seize dominion over the very planet he'd been denied. Hordak's visage is unmistakable, a grotesque countenance featuring a white or cream-toned face, penetrating red eyes, pronounced snout-like nose, vampiric crimson fangs, and bat-like ears. His attire includes a bone-adorned collar and obsidian armor embellished with the Horde's emblem. Horde's very appearance evokes the essence of a vampire, demon, or even a cybernetic entity across different media portrayals. Predominantly recognized as the chief antagonist in the She-Ra, Princess of Power series, Hordak reigns as the ultimate foe of She-Ra, He-Man's twin sister. Commanding Etheria with an army of Horde troopers, this guy wields mastery over dark arts. Severely weakened from his encounter with King Grayskull, he adopts a custom mechanical form in the Despondos dimension. His mechanical body morphs into weaponry or transportation, showcasing his newfound capabilities. In the DC Comics iteration, Hordak exhibits his powerful array of abilities as a potent telepath who manipulates cosmic forces and incites warfare to feast upon fallen souls. His telekinetic prowess crumbles Castle Grayskull from a remote dimension. Additionally, Hordak's reality warping abilities reshape Eternia and other realms to mirror his dominion. Consuming souls and harnessing the power of He-Man's blood, he taps into the goddess's dark aspect, Orokarth, ascending to super-powered status. His intricate strategies rival even Skeletor's, yet arrogance ultimately proves Hordak's downfall. Evil Lyn. Evil Lyn assumes the role of Skeletor's second-in-command, albeit with an air of questionable loyalty. Among He-Man's villains, she stands as one of the most cunning and intellectually adept. Debuting in the popular toy line and its accompanying animated series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Evil Lyn is the sole female member of the Evil Warriors. As a sinister enchantress, she wields dark powers, assisting Skeletor in his endeavors. Her keen intellect surpasses that of Skeletor's other followers, and she harbors ambitions of usurping his dominion over Eternia, which has driven her to act independently against Skeletor on numerous occasions. Recognizable by her crystal-adorned magic wand, Evil Lyn is known for conjuring magic without reliance on external instruments. Introduced in 1983 to diversify the Evil Warriors, Evil Lyn's character draws parallels with Teela, reflected in their action figures. Her spells are amplified when channeled through her staff. Additionally, her magical arsenal encompasses desert storms, shadow transformations for stealth and rapid travel, meteor showers, and devastating forest destruction alongside her frequent employment of energy blasts, bearing the hallmark, whether through her staff or her bare hands. In the 1983 series, her shape-shifting ability aided espionage, while the 2002 iteration grants her a siren form, enabling mind control through her song, thus making her a multifaceted character with a nuanced portrayal to enrich the He-Man mythos. King Hiss. This guy once ruled Eternia and commanded the Snake Men, earning the mantle of Lord of Snake Mountain. Possessing magic on par with the Elders, King Hiss emerges as one of He-Man's most potent adversaries. Although absent from the OG animated series, his presence finds life in the 2002 revival of the franchise, where he emerges as a central villain. As the Snake Men's ruler, King Hiss wields an extensive and ruthless army, with a history of conquering worlds including Eternia. Their supremacy is challenged by Hordak's forces, leading to their defeat. After another attempt to conquer Eternia post-King Grayskull's fall, the Elders imprison the Snake Men in a liminal dimension, where King Hiss finds himself sealed beneath Snake Mountain, which he coerces Zodak into constructing after devouring his brother. Over time, Skeletor commandeers Snake Mountain, with a few loyal Snake Men joining his ranks. Notably, Cobra Khan and General Ratlaw lead efforts to free King Hiss using Zodak's staff. Reclaiming his base, King Hiss welcomes Evil Lyn and sets his incarcerated army free. This marks the inception of his conquest, battling He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. In the fray, he summons the Snake God, but is eventually defeated, resulting in diminished power. King Hiss's appearance transitions from human guise to a serpentine form from the waist up. His ancient magic manifests in versatile abilities like telekinesis, barriers, and even teleportation as unraveling vipers. He leads his Snake Men efficiently, using adaptive physiology and overshadowing bodies in the 2010s adaptation, revealing the breadth of his malevolent potency within the franchise. Shigora. This demonic entity, hailing from a distant dimension, was summoned by Skeletor to aid in conquering Eternia and subduing He-Man. However, the power of Shigora surpassed Skeletor's control, revealing his own sinister aspirations for Eternia's domination. He ensnared Skeletor, Evil Lyn, and Trapjaw within crystals, while also inflicting wounds upon Whiplash, who fled to the royal palace to forewarn He-Man and his valiant comrades. Responding to the dire menace, the heroic warriors rallied to thwart Shigora's nefarious schemes. Their mission led them to Snake Mountain, where an intense confrontation erupted against Shigora's summoned minions. Despite the valiant efforts, Shigora managed to teleport away, leaving a trail of uncertainty. Unyielding in his ambition, Shigora infiltrated Castle Grayskull, overpowering the sorceress and morphing her into a harpy-like creature under its malevolent command. Concurrently, this entity strived to unlock a gateway, aiming to draw Eternia into his home dimension. The crisis compelled unlikely alliances, as Evil Lyn and Skeletor collaborated with the sorceress to counteract Shigora's dark magic. Their combined strength enabled them to invoke the summoning spell and banish Shigora, restoring Eternia's equilibrium once more. Beastman. Beastman emerged as a central figure within the revered Masters of the Universe toy line and animated series, serving as Skeletor's fierce right hand and commanding dominion over a legion of untamed creatures. Originating in the early 1980s, he was among the first batch of characters conceptualized for the franchise by Mattel, embodying the essence of primal strength and loyalty to Skeletor. Intriguingly, the moniker Beastman was repurposed from a character in Mattel's earlier Flash Gordon toy line. As the Beastmaster and gamekeeper for Skeletor's malicious menagerie, he possesses strength akin to 10 gorillas and the agility of a wolf, with an uncanny swiftness while swinging through vines. His attack strategy often involves pouncing on foes, utilizing his formidable hands for tearing and smashing, whether wielding an animal training whip or a rudimentary club. Beastman's prowess extends to commanding beasts and animals to execute his master's will. In the realm of Eternia, where alliances shift and battles surge, Beastman remains a resolute force and emblem of ferocity in Skeletor's pursuit of domination. Trapjaw. As another powerful ally of Skeletor, this guy boasts the uncanny ability to gnash through any material and morph his right arm into an arsenal of weaponry during confrontations against He-Man. Cronus was a dreaded warmonger who once served in Keldor's army, but dissatisfied with his lord's metamorphosis into Skeletor, Cronus ventured solo, amassing a legion of marauder factions in the untamed Dark Hemisphere. Returning to Snake Mountain to challenge his former superior, Cronus faced not Keldor, but the visage of Skeletor. Defeat left him disfigured, his arms severed and face scarred. Instead of annihilating him, Skeletor entrusted Cronus to Triclops, initiating a transformation into Trapjaw. Armed with an iron jaw studded with lethal teeth and a mechanical arm, endowed with superhuman strength, Trapjaw's weaponry versatility is unmatched. Proficient in tactics from his warlord past, he's a potent warrior and skilled weapons master. In the 2002 series, Trapjaw's metallic consumption bolsters his strength, while the 2012 comic adaptation introduces advanced nanotech enhancements. These empower him to generate microtechnological creatures that modify his bionic arm into a range of energized armaments. As a savvy black market dealer, he wields mechanical engineering expertise and adept intel gathering, which proves to be a multifaceted arsenal in his quest for dominance.
Death to all traitors!
Merman. Merman was originally a beloved Masters of the Universe toy line who later made his way to the animated counterpart He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, emerging as a pivotal figure. Introduced in the inaugural series of Mattel's action figures during 1981 to 1982, Merman was envisaged as Skeletor's foremost confidant following Beastman. Originating from Atlantia, Merman's early life took a criminal turn, resulting in his arrest and subsequent death sentence. Yet, his escape from execution marked the beginning of his rogue existence, surviving by pilfering from travelers and engaging in confrontations. After a fateful encounter with a Horde group, Merman's combat prowess captured Hordak's attention, leading to his enlistment. Under Keldor's command, they attacked Eternia, but faced defeat. Keldor's transformation into Skeletor didn't deter Merman's loyalty, even as Skeletor severed ties with Hordak. The alliance with Skeletor persisted, culminating in Skeletor granting Merman rulership over Atlantia as they embarked on their conquest of Eternia. Notably, Merman's narrative arcs include Icon of Evil and his presence within the 2012 He-Man and Masters of the Universe iteration. His journey encapsulates loyalty shifts and power struggles within the complex universe of Eternia. Stinkor. Stinkor embodies the moniker Evil Master of Odors because of his unique persona that features a humanoid skunk form, gifted with the extraordinary ability to emit a toxic scent that immobilizes his adversaries. Debuting in 1985 as an action figure within the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe toy line, Stinkor arrived accompanied by the mini-comic The Stench of Evil. Notably distinct, Stinkor's action figure sported a semi-foul aroma, setting it apart as one of the rare toys with a scent-based action feature. This design choice parallels the heroic character Mossman. Created by repurposing the mold of another villain, Merman, Stinkor's musky scent is chemically infused while his physical appearance differs through this black and white paint scheme. Unique chest armor sourced from the Mechanic figure and a distinctive shield obtained from the Castle Grayskull weapons set. As per his toy backstory, Stinkor hails from the Pelesian species of humanoid skunks, with his original name being Oedipus. This vibrant character adds a unique olfactory dimension to the Masters of the Universe mythos. Too Bad. Too Bad was crafted as a result of Skeletor's unorthodox punishment, representing the fusion of two quarrelsome henchmen who had a penchant for perpetual conflict. This unique character boasts a dual nature, sporting two heads atop a singular body. His right side embodies a blue creature, while his left side showcases a scaly purple entity, adorned with a distinct yellow band on the forehead. The two heads exhibit a constant argumentative dynamic, continuously blaming each other for errors while vying for individual credit in their successes. The character's name, a playful twist on Too Bad encapsulates this dual identity. Functioning as an evil warrior, Too Bad possesses considerable strength, yet their ceaseless bickering draws the ire of Skeletor. Notably, Too Bad played a pivotal role in Skeletor's scheme to capture Roboto, piloting the Landshark in pursuit. However, their internal conflict allowed Man-at-Arms to outmaneuver them, capitalizing on their distracted state to further their own agenda. This fusion character adds a unique layer of complexity and humor to the He-Man mythos. Daimar, a demon encountered within the intricate tapestry of Eternia's stories, began as an innocent tale that took a curious turn. Orko, drawn by the description of Daimar in a spellbook, summoned him as a carefree playmate, only to embark on an unexpected adventure. While the duo explored the wilderness, Man-at-Arms grew wary and sought them out. Their retreat led them to an isolated spot where Daimar spun a cocoon. This cocoon's mystery aligned with the enigmatic dimensional breach that had disrupted Eternia upon Daimar's initial summons. Upon waking, Orko found Daimar missing, tracing their steps to Castle Grayskull. Here, Daimar harbored intentions of exploiting the breach, amassing an army of demons for Eternia's invasion. Skeletor and Evil Lyn schemed to control him, while He-Man and Orko appealed to his inner nature, highlighting the power of choice. Amid the struggle, Daimar chose his path, defying Skeletor's manipulation. In a poignant moment, Daimar embraced friendship, aligning with He-Man and Orko's values. His decisive action sealed the breach, averting the demon invasion and signaling his return to the Dark Dimension. The tale of Daimar underscored the essence of choice and friendship in the ever-evolving narrative of Eternia in the He-Man franchise. Faker. Faker finds his place both within the toy line and its animated counterpart, as an evil twin of He-Man under Skeletor's sway. Faker's narrative unfolds with intriguing variations, sporting the appearance of He-Man but distinguished by blue skin and fiery orange hair. Faker was meticulously crafted by Skeletor and was aimed to infiltrate the ranks of the Masters of the Universe, sowing discord and confusion. Various interpretations across media platforms add layers to his persona, while the original toy line positions him as a robotic mimic of He-Man, designated as the evil robot of Skeletor. Alternate narratives depict him as a magical construct or an exact physical doppelganger engineered to deceive Eternia's denizens. In the intricate tapestry of Eternia, Faker takes on diverse roles. Serving Skeletor's nefarious agenda, he embodies an evil automaton designed to replicate and harness He-Man's might. Tasked with impersonating the hero to distract King Randor from Keldor's hidden truths, Faker's illusory guise was swiftly unveiled by Randor, ending in his defeat. Faker's multifaceted character, whether perceived as a mechanical double or a mystical creation, adds intrigue to the unfolding drama of Eternia as the forces of good and evil continue their age-old struggle. Whiplash. Another powerful figure in Skeletor's entourage, Whiplash carries a complex history marked by exile from his clan, the Caligars, due to a betrayal born from deceit. Once comrades of Captain Randor, who now reigns as Eternia's king, the Caligars fought alongside him in battles of old. Whiplash's reputation is that of a turncoat to his kin, a traitor standing against Ceratus' rule. An influential member of the Evil Warriors, Whiplash possesses the physique of an anthropomorphic reptilian entity, and his distinguishing feature lies in his robust tail, which acts as a weapon of mass and might. Employing his considerable weight, Whiplash gains the upper hand by overpowering adversaries, seizing moments of imbalance to unleash swift and crushing tail strikes, capable of shattering rock and incapacitating foes. His debut unfolds in the pages of the Mattel mini-comic, The Clash of Arms, where Whiplash emerges as Skeletor's premier brute enforcer, pitted against Fisto in an arena showdown. The narrative paints him as a savage powerhouse, effortlessly overpowering Fisto until the intervention of He-Man. This introduction cements his reputation as a relentless force, hinting that only He-Man could stand against his ferocity. Webster. With a striking fusion of human and spider traits, Webster was initially branded by Mattel as the Master of Escape and features a distinctive Black Widow spider emblem on his chest armor. A key element of his gear is a backpack equipped with a lengthy rope and a grappling hook, enabling him to scale walls and outmaneuver traps. Originally conceived under the working title Black Widow, Webster's character description can be found in the 1980s cartoon series Bible written by Michael Halperin. Summoned to Castle Grayskull by the newly appointed sorceress Evil Lyn, Webster's loyalty to the Evil Warriors took a sudden twist when Skelegard forcefully intervened, choking Evil Lyn and halting their meeting. An undercover expedition by Teela and Andra through the castle's dungeons brought them face to face with Webster, who obstructed their path. But Teela's resourceful use of her staff's grappling hook prompted Webster to follow suit with his own grappling gun, while Andra's swift action severed his cord, causing him to collide with the water's edge, thwarting his pursuit. Webster, emblematic of the formidable Evil Warriors, harnesses arachnid-like abilities. His engaging encounter with Teela and Andra underscores his agility and determination, solidifying his role within the ranks of Skeletor's malevolent forces. Evil Seed. Evil Seed makes his mark in the Master of the Universe series as a notable antagonist. In the 1980s animated show, Evil Seed cunningly distributed seeds to farmers, which ultimately sprouted into invasive vines, causing the Dam of the Ancients to rupture, flooding the fertile plains. Thankfully, He-Man intervened and rescued the imperiled farmers. Amid suspicions directed at Skeletor, who was erroneously accused, the royal palace fell under siege as vines ensnared the inhabitants. The true culprit, Evil Seed, emerged, prompting an unlikely alliance between Skeletor and He-Man. Collaborating, they crafted a plan involving an enormous ice ball conjured from Ice Mountain, with Skeletor delivering the finishing blow, thus vanquishing Evil Seed for good. Created exclusively for the animated series by Filmation, Evil Seed's character didn't originate from a toy concept. In 2016, Matty Collector unveiled an action figure immortalizing Evil Seed for their Masters of the Universe Classics toy line. A year later, they also released a toy based on the 2002 iteration of Evil Seed, solidifying his enduring presence in the franchise. Catra. Catra, a fictional character in the She-Ra Princess of Power animated series, plays a significant role within the broader Masters of the Universe franchise. In the Filmation series, a comical feline voice, delivered by Melody Britt, masked her deeply cruel and calculating nature. Later, Hordak granted her an enchanted mask that allowed her to transform into a panther, thereby becoming the ruler of the Magicats. Upon Adora's departure, Catra rose to the position of the Horde's Force Commander, overseeing Horde members such as Mantenna, Leech, Ratlaw, Grislaw, and Scorpia. Her loyalty is ever shifting, as she frequently operates independently and even collaborates with Skeletor in schemes against Hordak. Strategic partnerships with Shadow Weaver, Scorpia, and Entraptor highlight her relentless pursuits of power within the Horde's ranks. Catra's notable disdain for Imp, particularly her volatile feud with him, is palpable. Additionally, her veiled romantic interest in Seahawk adds layers to her character. Animated Catra's ambition and strategic prowess shine through her efforts to seize power and her mastery of diverse abilities, including her distinctive Magicat mask, teleportation, and technological acumen. With a complex blend of intelligence, cunning, and calculated alliances, Catra remains a compelling figure in the expansive universe of Masters of the Universe. Notably, she's also the owner of Claudine, a pink lion, and Storm, a Pegasus. Cobra Khan. Cobra Khan holds a prominent place in both the beloved toy line and the accompanying animated series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, as a member of the Evil Warriors. He embodies a fusion of human and Cobra traits, wielding a distinctive ability, which is the power to release a potent sleep mist from his hood, instantly incapacitating his adversaries. While commonly associated with Skeletor's malevolent faction, Cobra Khan's allegiances extend to King Hiss of the Snake Men in various media adaptations. Introduced to the Masters of the Universe toy line in 1984, Cobra Khan's action figure garnered utmost fame due to its unique ability to spray water. The figure's detachable head and water-fillable torso enable it to expel water from the mouth when the head is reattached and pressed down. Serving as one of the formidable Evil Warriors, Cobra Khan initially operated under Skeletor's orders to infiltrate the Snake Men. However, his path took an intriguing twist as he eventually switched sides. Collaborating with Ratlaw, Cobra Khan located and liberated King Hiss from his captivity within the depths of Snake Mountain. This dynamic character's presence adds depth and intrigue to the Masters of the Universe storyline. Squeeze. As a prominent member of the enigmatic Snake Men faction, Squeeze's unique ability to elongate his arms lends an intriguing dimension to his persona. Initially known as Tanglor, Squeeze was an ardent follower of King Hiss among the Snake Men during the era preceding Eternia's formation. Condemned to an unnamed dimension by the Council of Elders, he faced exile while King Hiss was ensnared in a void. Following his liberation by King Hiss, alongside fellow Snake Man Snakeface, Squeeze embarked on eventful misadventures. Their mission to abduct Queen Marlena inadvertently led to the capture of the Sorceress in Disguise. Squeeze later aligned with Skeletor and Snakeface in the kidnapping of Rotar, a scenario that unraveled within Skeletor's perilous arena of doom at Snake Mountain. A surprising turn of events occurred when Rotar seized Squeeze's elongated arm and transformed him into a living weapon against the treacherous Twistoid and other Snake Men, culminating in a captivating clash of powers. Snakeface. Snakeface, an intriguing member of the enigmatic Snake Men faction, wields a chilling power that can transform individuals into stone. Once exiled to an uncharted dimension by the Council of Elders, Snakeface's narrative took a twist when King Hiss harnessed the might of Viper Tower to liberate him and Tanglor from their confinement, enlisting them in his service once more. Employing his petrifying abilities, Snakeface targeted Prince Adam, Extendar, and the Sorceress, using his power to turn them to stone. Yet, He-Man's valor prevailed as he wielded his power sword to undo the transformation, marking a pivotal turning point in their clash. In a climactic battle within Viper Tower, Snakeface's power saw a dramatic reversal. He-Man harnessed the dynamics of his power sword to reflect Snakeface's petrifying force back onto the Snake Men, turning them all into stone. Later, Snakeface's ominous abilities came to the fore again as he turned Rotar into stone, orchestrating a sinister scheme to coerce him into combat against the frightening new evil warrior named Twistoid. Man-E-Faces. Man-E-Faces stands for his striking visage, as his distinct appearance features a large blue metal head with a screen-like opening, through which he morphs his faces featuring human, robotic, and monstrous. His multifaceted abilities hold diverse roles across various media iterations. Originally conceived as an actor afflicted with a fractured identity, both cartoon series depict him utilizing his faces for role-playing and augmenting his powers. The moniker Man-E-Faces cleverly alludes to his shape-shifting prowess. Introduced in the second wave of characters, he debuted in the Mattel mini-comic The Ordeal of Man-E-Faces. Within that narrative, he was ensnared by Skeletor, compelled to drink a transformative potion and coerced into a monstrous form. The sorceress intervened, restoring his humanity, but Skeletor reverted him back into a monster. This conflict engendered a third persona in the form of a neutral, super-intelligent robot. Despite He-Man's intervention to break Skeletor's spell, the robot and monster personas became intrinsic to his being. Vowing to break the curse, this version of Man-E-Faces also graced DC Comics miniseries with his captivating complexity. Plundor. In the He-Man mythos, Plundor the Spoiler wielded massive dominion over Trannis, where he erected an expansive factory to exploit its resources for personal gain. In the pursuit of profit, he recklessly depleted the planet's wealth, decimating native creatures, felling forests, and contaminating rivers with mechanical contraptions. In a twist of fate, He-Man, robbed of his memories by Skeletor's manipulations, arrived on Trannis and encountered Gleedle when Plundor dispatched rabbit-like automatons to ensnare them. Unveiling the planet's life force, Plundor showed a magical elixir of immense value, extracted from its essence, and when He-Man refused collaboration, he faced dungeon captivity as Plundor's ultimatum alongside Gleedle. When Orko, accompanied by Ram Man and Cringer, arrived to restore He-Man's lost memories and thwart Plundor's minions, driven by fear of losing his prized potion, Plundor loaded it onto a rocket. Luckily, He-Man intervened, redirecting the rocket's trajectory. Upon detonation in the planet's atmosphere, the magical explosion revived Trannis to its unspoiled state. Following this, Gleedle compelled Plundor to dismantle his factory, thus bringing an end to his exploitation. Shokoti. Shokoti, a malevolent sorceress hailing from the shadowed corners of Eternia, was ensnared within a pyramid to cage her maleficence. But this pyramid's grip was broken by her devoted servant Mask, who unearthed it from beneath desert sands. Unfortunately, Malaktha's novice apprentice, Stanlan, ventured into the pyramid, unknowingly crossing paths with Shokoti. Seizing this opportunity, she employed Stanlan as a lure to ensnare He-Man, Battlecat, and Ram Man, drawing them into her trap. Shokoti wielded illusions to overpower the trio, readying them for sacrifice to the awakening sleeping beast. Guided by the sorceress, Stanlan overcame fear, wielding the power sword to rescue them. He-Man vanquished the sleeping beast by toppling a colossal statue into its pool, triggering Shokoti's disappearance in a blaze of light. In the Masters of the Universe Classic saga, Shokoti's bio confirms her identity as a Gar. Adorned with a horned bronze headdress, crescent moon choker, and matching gauntlets, she dons a red cape, a black and blue leotard, and a skull buckle belt. Lastly, jet black hair frames her pale blue skin, with lifeless black eyes completing her enigmatic visage.
Pity we don't see eye to eye.
Triclops. Triclops, as a devoted henchman to the malevolent Skeletor, stood as a relentless adversary to He-Man and the valiant champions of Eternia. His distinct appearance features a visor helmet adorned with 3 artificial eyes, each endowed with unique visual abilities. The portrayal of these eyes varies across different iterations of the franchise. They often grant him a threefold advantage, which are distant viewing with Dista vision, nocturnal perception through night vision, and the ability to peer through or around objects with gamma vision. Each ocular sphere wields a distinctive optic blast. Triclops possesses the dual talents of an inventor and a proficient swordsman, albeit overshadowed by the skills of man-at-arms. His multifaceted helmet includes an eye for telescopic and night vision, another for energy-based attacks and dazzling light emissions, and a third capable of glimpsing into the future. In an alternate rendition, Triclops started as a blind guardian to a sorcerer, with Skeletor restoring his sight in exchange for a sinister deed. This act marked his integration into Skeletor's assembly of malevolent forces, further cementing his role within the Masters of Evil. Anti-He-Man. Within the He-Man mythos, Anti-He-Man reigned as a malevolent force in the enigmatic realm of Anti-Eternia, located in the universe of darkness. This sinister counterpart to He-Man wielded an ominous presence, distinguished by obsidian skin and fiery crimson hair. A figure steeped in darkness, he embraced his nefarious nature and remained undefeated in the arena of combat. With the summoning of his sword, he harnessed the power of Hell Grayskull, a force that echoed the opposite energy of its heroic counterpart. The convergence of realities occurred when Skeletor utilized a world converter to pry open the dimensional gateway between Anti-Eternia and Eternia. Contrary to expectations, Anti-He-Man spurned an alliance with Skeletor, casting him from Snake Mountain. Subsequently, a decisive confrontation emerged between Anti-He-Man and He-Man. Their clash ceased only with the annihilation of the world converter, causing Anti-He-Man to vanish from Eternia's realm, leaving an impactful legacy. Scareglow. Scareglow, a spectral warrior bound to the service of Skeletor, embodies an eerie presence within the Masters of the Universe. His form, that of a skeletal ghost warrior, manifests as both ethereal and solid, adorned with an otherworldly radiance that emanates from his bones, casting an intimidating glow capable of unsettling even the most valiant adversaries. A regal figure, he drapes himself in a flowing purple cape, wielding the ominous scythe of doom. Hailing from a dimension veiled in mystery, Scareglow was conjured by Skeletor across the bounds of time and space, though the specifics of his origin remain enigmatic. Despite initial defiance, Scareglow was brought under Skeletor's dominion, driven by the Dark Lord's decree that only in defeating He-Man and his allies could he be returned to his own realm. Tasked alongside Ninjor, Scareglow embarked on a mission to assail the heroic warriors with his terror-inducing luminescence. His ability to infuse profound fear into Prince Adam momentarily hindered his transformation into He-Man. Yet, with the intervention of Clamp Champ, Scareglow's hold on Adam was broken, allowing He-Man to rise and ultimately vanquish this spectral adversary. Clawful. This devoted aquatic minion of Skeletor emerges as one of Eternia's crab-like inhabitants aligned with evil forces. As a representative of his crabmen species, Clawful shares a kinship with fellow henchmen Whiplash and Beastman, and is often regarded as one of the less intellectually inclined members of Skeletor's retinue. Boasting the signature feature of his race, Clawful wields a colossal claw of superhuman strength, serving as a powerful bludgeoning tool in the absence of fingers or formal training. A core member of Skeletor's evil warriors, Clawful epitomizes the fusion between human and crustacean attributes, incorporating prominent sharp claws with a capacity for life-crushing force. Typically, his right claw is particularly oversized, adding to its lethality. Engaging in combative exploits, Clawful orchestrated an attempt to capture the valiant Fisto and Stridor. When Fisto fell into Skeletor's clutches, a duel ensued between him and Clawful, Jitsu and Whiplash within a combat arena. In a skillful maneuver, Fisto outwitted Clawful by immobilizing his crushing claw with a strategically placed log, securing his victory against this frightening foe. Batross. Noted for his cunning nature, this malevolent figure was once confined to the shadowy realms of Eternia's dark side. Over time, his thirst for power grew, prompting him to shift his base of operations to the Temple of the Sun. There, Batross devised a sinister scheme to pilfer the invaluable books of Eternia from the royal palace in Eternos. The aim was to hoard the precious knowledge within these tomes, leveraging their absence to manipulate Eternia's rulers and claim kingship in place of Randor. Stealthily, Batross plundered the ancient archives of the palace, concealing his ill-gotten gains within a clandestine chamber within the temple. Both Skeletor and the vigilant sorceress of Castle Grayskull eventually exposed Batross's machinations. With designs to enlist him, Skeletor dispatched Beastman and Trapjaw to bring the cunning villain to Snake Mountain. Meanwhile, He-Man's quest led him to the Temple of the Sun, unaware of Teela and Orko's discovery of the stolen books. Captured by Batross, the duo refused to bow to him, prompting his punishment. However, Trapjaw and Beastman intervened, leading to a clash of powers. When Batross was coerced to accompany the villains, he showcased his magical prowess by unleashing snakes upon Trapjaw and Energy Blast at Beastman. Aiming to forge an alliance with Skeletor, Batross sought to supplant him and gain mastery over Eternia. However, Skeletor outmatched him, compelling Batross to aid in breaching Castle Grayskull's defenses. He-Man thwarted Batross's scheme, sending him hurtling into the dark hemisphere of the planet. Overall, Batross emerges as a malevolent mercenary, entrenched in the sinister domain of the Dark Hemisphere. His malevolent intent is underscored by his pursuit of the powers of Grayskull, which he believes will grant him unparalleled supremacy. While one plot to steal Eternia's records and tomes from the Eternos library falls short, Batross persists as a shrouded adversary, aligning with Skeletor to advance his ambitions. This enigmatic figure, adept in the craft of thievery, remains a constant threat to Eternia and its champions of freedom. Count Marzo. Count Marzo, a formidable sorcerer driven by an insatiable thirst for power, has endured for millennia with a singular goal: to claim the throne of Eternia. His malevolent plots are often woven with subtlety, drawing unsuspecting children into his schemes. In the 2002 rendition of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Count Marzo launched an assault on the Hall of Wisdom in times past. Defeated by Captain Miro and his forces, he was imprisoned in the form of an elderly man and banished to the Dark Hemisphere. His source of magic, the amulet, was securely hidden away. However, Marzo resurfaced, deceiving Mekanek into procuring the amulet in exchange for a wish. Upon reacquiring the amulet, he resumed his true form, orchestrating a revenge scheme against the royal palace. Using knockout gas from his hounds, Marzo attacked the palace, only to be thwarted by Mekanek and He-Man. The amulet was hurled into Eternia's seas, and Marzo was apprehended. Later, Skeletor freed him, and Marzo joined the Council of Evil. He aided Evilseed in subduing He-Man, even challenging Skeletor's authority in the council. Yet, his assault on Skeletor proved futile. During the Castle Grayskull battle, Marzo fought valiantly but fell victim to the combined efforts of Stratos, the Sorceress, and Zodak, reverting him to his aged form. Marzo's elderly guise resurfaced when he pilfered from barbarians, ultimately collaborating with Evil Lyn to release Hordak through the Well of Darkness. Despite his efforts, He-Man intervened, prompting Marzo to recapture his amulet and flee. The Game Master. The Game Master, a cosmic malefactor with an unquenchable thirst for games and combat, roams the expanse of space in the He-Man mythos. Commanding the cosmic arena, he wields dominion over a diverse crew of warriors snatched from myriad worlds, all bound by his obsession with victory. Equipped with a cache of weaponry and technology ensuring perpetual advantage, this guy revels in engineered imbalances. Upon encountering He-Man, the Game Master recognized his prowess and compelled him to partake in gladiatorial clashes within his arena. When declined, he dispatched a winged spy to surveil He-Man, who discovered his association with Teela. So, launching an attack on the royal palace, the Game Master kidnapped Teela and took control of Prince Adam's power sword, coercing him to submit to the Cosmic Arena's contests. Assisted by Orko and Cringer, Adam infiltrated the arena, endeavoring to rescue Teela. Their mission placed them against Kragox, the Game Master's elite warrior. Amidst the clash, He-Man emerged to beat Kragox, while the Game Master challenged him using a trident and explosive shield. When combat proved futile, the Game Master compelled his minions to fight He-Man, but they were no match to the strongest man in the universe. Upon defeat, the Game Master was imprisoned, and the captives were free to return to their homeworlds. Lizor. Lizor, originating as an action figure within Mattel's He-Man toy line, seamlessly transitioned into the character roster of the 1990 animated series The New Adventures of He-Man. Within the narrative, Lizor emerged as a loyal subordinate in the ranks of Flogg's cohorts. This reptilian entity possessed distinct traits, communicating through a hissing lisp. Notably, Lizor's vigilant awareness alerted Flogg to the presence of two Primus spacecraft detected within the expanse of Denebrian space. Among these vessels, one belonged to Kao, while the other had been pilfered by the nefarious Skeletor. The ensuing plotline saw Skeletor's maneuverings culminate on Denebria, where he skillfully wrested command from the mutants, thereby shifting the balance of power. Lizor's presence within the series underscored the diverse and dynamic ensemble of characters that populated the universe of He-Man. Modulok. As a member of the Evil Horde, Modulok emerges as a distinct character due to his action figure's innovative design, comprising an impressive array of 22 detachable pieces that can be assembled into various configurations. This character's uniqueness lies in his ability to transform into myriad shapes, facilitated by his multiple bodies. Crafted as a versatile monster, Modulok's talent to reshape himself baffles foes on the battlefield. Previously enslaved by Skeletor, he cunningly escaped his captor's grasp and sought refuge within the folds of the Evil Horde, aligning with them due to Hordak's deep animosity towards Skeletor. Collaborating with Hordak, Modulok orchestrated a scheme involving the incremental delivery of his body parts to the royal palace of Eternia, encased within individual packages labeled as gifts. Luckily, Man-at-Arms, suspecting foul play, dispatched Prince Adam and Teela to consult with the Sorceress within Castle Grayskull. Once inside, Modulok exploited his shape-shifting prowess, transforming from his segmented state and utilizing his abilities to pilfer a forbidden weapon. A tumultuous clash ensued, featuring He-Man, Skeletor, and Hordak, during which Modulok revealed his capacity to morph and even divide into two separate entities. Subsequently, Modulok harnessed his scientific prowess to craft Multibot, a mechanical creation resembling his form, imbued with the directive to eliminate both the heroic warriors and Hordak himself. Despite his ingenuity, this endeavor ultimately ended in his failure. Horde Prime. Horde Prime stands as the paramount true dark overlord of the Horde Empire. Introduced in the animated series She-Ra, Princess of Power, he emerged as a supremely powerful entity who was invariably enveloped in an aura of enigmatic green mist. Originating from Horde World, he traversed the cosmos aboard his flagship, the Velvet Glove. A familial connection to Hordak was suggested, potentially as an older brother, evident through Prime's son, Prince Zed, who referred to Hordak as his uncle. Though Prime's true form remains concealed, his identity is marked by a colossal two-headed cyborg appearance. Exuding immense power, he commands authority to reduce even Hordak to submission through sheer thought. Frustrated by Hordak's inability to quell the Great Rebellion on Etheria, Prime's influence extended to overseeing entities beyond the Horde, like the Monstroids. Additionally, Horde Prime's machinations involved manipulating even the likes of Skeletor in endeavors such as eradicating the essence of Christmas from the galaxy. This scheme backfired when Skeletor succumbed to the spirit of the season, leaving a thwarted Horde Prime to grapple with his own downfall. Mulchrom. Mulchrom emerges as a colossal olive-green hybrid creature, boasting a striking combination of attributes that includes horned features, dual tendrils as arms, equine legs reminiscent of a centaur, canine-like tail, and a flowing blonde mane. The sorceress unveiled Mulchrom's history and power, labeling him the key to the Torg's unparalleled might and how the Elders, harnessing their magic, entrapped him deep within the Torg's cavernous domain. His liberation was tethered to the staff of Avion, and his destructive capabilities posed a great threat to Castle Grayskull. Dubbed the Prince of Destruction amongst the Torgs, Mulchrom's magical prowess rivals even that of the sorceress. Entrapped within a crystal fortified by the Elder's magic, Skeletor endeavored to exploit the crystal's vulnerability to unleash Mulchrom's might. Seizing Stratos and the Staff of Avion, Skeletor identified the crystal's Achilles heel, subsequently setting Mulchrom free. Upon release, Mulchrom unleashed his powers with a mighty roar, channeling intensely concentrated wind gusts, projecting energy streams from his eyes, shaping and demolishing structures, and exhibiting versatile abilities like transforming fire into ominous arboreal forms. His dual tendrils serve both as tools of offense, with whipping and constriction capabilities, and as steed-like limbs for dynamic mobility. Jitsu. Jitsu, a member of the Evil Warriors, stands as an Eternian martial artist, known for his distinctively enlarged golden right hand, perfect for delivering powerful karate chops. Revered as a master swordsman, he's often associated with a rivalry that looms unexplored with heroic warrior Fisto, though no official material has delved into this connection. Introduced within the Masters of the Universe toy line's third series in 1984, Jitsu's on-screen debut arrived earlier in the animated series, particularly in the episode The Dragon Invasion. The character's early appearance in the cartoon, bearing a hand seemingly flesh rather than gold due to developmental stages of the toy, aligned with the show's intention to promote forthcoming figures. Referred to as Chopper in the series Bible, the character was somewhat sidelined due to concerns about potential racial stereotypes. Despite these hurdles, his figure eventually hit the market, positioned as the evil master of martial arts, and often compared to Fisto due to shared design elements. Jitsu's portrayal across various media remains relatively minor, marked by limited character development. Toy Maker. The Toy Maker, a peripatetic magician with a penchant for crafting lethal playthings, resurfaced in Eternia after a hiatus. Seeking an alliance, he approached Snake Mountain, proposing his expertise to Skeletor. The deal was struck whereby, in exchange for capturing Man-at-Arms, the Toy Maker would join forces with the Evil Lord. In a twist of fate, the Toy Maker crossed paths with Orko, cultivating camaraderie through flattery and offering him a toy soldier, a dinosaur, and a teddy bear as enchanted gifts for the royal palace. Nightfall unveiled the true form of the toys into giants that whisked Man-at-Arms through treacherous paths to Snake Mountain. Skeletor, instead of upholding their agreement, subjected the Toy Maker to a mind control spell, extracting the magic words that animated his creations. A scheme was set into motion, deploying the toys to ensnare He-Man. However, Orko mastered control of the toys with his own incantation, orchestrating the rescue of Man-at-Arms. Frustrated, the Toy Maker united his creations into a flying mount, but his escape plans were thwarted by Orko. In the end, He-Man apprehended the Toy Maker, ensuring his delivery to the proper authorities, marking the culmination of a curious encounter in Eternia's realm. Spikor. As a member of the Evil Warriors, Spikor boasts a head and torso enveloped in razor-sharp spikes. His left hand has been replaced by an extendable trident, which in some versions can emit a laser beam. About 85% of his body is adorned with dangerous barbs, leaving only his inner joints and face as vulnerable points. A hydraulic trident serves as his right hand, and he favors a mace adorned with spikes. In his debut episode, Spikor Strikes, he showcased his deadly prowess, relying on his spikes and trident as formidable assets. However, the portrayal lacked significance significant character development. In the mini-comic The Terror Claw's Strike, a different facet of Spycore emerged where he was depicted as a skilled blacksmith, residing in a mountain cavern, crafting weapons for Skeletor, including the Terror Claws featured in the corresponding action figure variant. Following his figure's release, Filmation introduced Spycore into the cartoon series. While Skeletor's minions often displayed bumbling tendencies, Spycore stood out as the most dim-witted. Filmation emphasized this portrayal with a peculiar, robotic voice and a somewhat childlike personality, perhaps intended to make his character more child-friendly without downplaying his potentially intimidating appearance. Goatman. Originating from the Goat tribe dwelling in the northern mountains, Clacky belongs to one of the few humanoid races susceptible to the hypnotic influence of the Beastmen. His species is amongst the rare, upright, intelligent races that fall under the control of these mesmerizing creatures. Captured by the Vine Jungle's rulers, he was reduced to being known as Goatman by his beastly overlords. Ensnared in the surface of Rakil Rakaz, he was coerced into participating in the Second Ultimate Battleground, where he suffered severe injuries at the hands of Bazoff, finding himself abandoned at Central Tower's base. A twist of fate sent him through a time portal into Eternia's future during King He-Man's rule and his son Dare's possession of the Power Sword. There, he was compelled to serve an aging Beastman, carrying out his malevolent orders. During an assignment to procure a dragon's egg, Goatman partnered with Beastman. Their mission encountered opposition from Fisto, who sought the same prize. Ultimately, their endeavors ended in defeat at the hands of Fisto, making another instance of their thwarted schemes. Rattlor. As a member of the Snake Men, Rattlor possesses the unique ability to extend his neck rapidly, to launch swift attacks and ominously shake his tail. His association with the evil Horde saw him avoiding imprisonment within the Void, unlike King Hiss. Joining the ranks of the evil Horde at one point, he later rejoined King Hiss upon the latter's release. Interestingly, King Hiss was displeased by Rattlor's service to Hordak during his absence. In the Filmation series, Rattlor was a Horde member who partnered with Tongue. His communication primarily involved tail rattling, which Tongue translated. Despite this, Rattlor occasionally vocalized. While he aligned with Skeletor briefly, he eventually returned to the Horde. Renegades of the Galaxy. The Renegades of the Galaxy were featured in the animated series The New Adventures of He-Man as a group of outlaws operating within the Tri-Solar System. Their recent assault on planet Alpha 3 led to their encounter with the Galactic Guardians, resulting in their defeat and subsequent capture by Sheriff Meliak in Gorn City on Denebria. Yet, a turn of events occurred when Skeletor and the evil mutants intervened, liberating the Renegades from confinement using the Terror Tread. Skeletor, aided by former Mayor Korak, aimed to manipulate the Renegades into believing that the valuable Romdeal gems were abundant on the planet Primus. His intention was to employ them for his own disruptive agenda. During their encounter, He-Man and Spinwood attempted to infiltrate the Renegades by posing as members, but their guise was exposed by Skeletor. The situation changed when Ambassador Bimo and Artilla arrived, presenting Romdeal gems supposedly taken from Korak. They convinced the Renegades that Nordor's moon held vast riches, leading the Renegades to head for the mutants' base. Panthor. Panthor, an integral part of Skeletor's entourage, serves as the malevolent feline counterpart to Battlecat in the Masters of the Universe. This giant purple panther is a loyal companion to Skeletor, yet contrasts with Battlecat as it lacks the ability to communicate verbally. The toy representation of Panthor was introduced in Wave 3 of the classic toy line, sharing the mold with Battlecat. The toy sported a soft fur texture achieved through flocking, and while it featured Battlecat's saddle, it omitted the helmet. Panthor's significance is evident as Skeletor's devoted pet, often seen perched beside his throne. This fearsome feline also served as a steed in battle, its imposing roar generating trepidation among those who encountered it. Panthor exhibited a discerning attitude, reserving its affection for Skeletor and Evil Lyn, displaying an aversion to most other evil warriors. Lady Slither. Lady Slither stands as a frightening figure among the Snake Men faction, possessing the remarkable ability to transform her lower body into a serpent's tail as she claims leadership of the Snake Men. Much like King Hiss, Lady Slither plays a pivotal role as a fierce and vicious leader within this reptilian collective. Lady Slither's narrative unfolded with her orchestrating a raid on Eternia, followed by her leadership of the Revenge Squad's assault on Troller. The enigmatic Unnamed One then beckoned her to form this malevolent squad, their target being the Trollan Temple of Power. Despite her prowess, Lady Slither faced defeat on Troller and subsequently returned to Eternia. There, alongside the remaining Snake Men, she posed a grave threat to the planet, her actions marking a dangerous chapter. As the story progressed, Lady Slither's journey intertwined with the resurrected King Hiss and his reanimated Snake Men, uniting their malevolent forces for an even greater impact on the unfolding tale. Mantenna. Mantenna was introduced in She-Ra, Princess of Power, as a prominent member of the evil Horde. This insectoid villain boasts a distinctive appearance with 4 legs and eyes that can pop out like antennae. In the mini-comics, Mantenna serves as a spy for Hordak, utilizing his extendable eyes both for surveying enemies and unleashing potent energy blasts. While in She-Ra, Princess of Power, Mantenna is part of Adora's and later Catra's Force Squad. His backstory unveils that he attended the Horde Academy on Horde World during his youth, hinting at his origin as a product of Horde science. Mantenna's array of abilities includes emitting diverse energy beams from his eyes, ranging from stun beams to gravity distortion and freeze rays. Despite his practical skills, Mantenna often displays nervousness, resulting in stammering and clumsiness. He serves as Hordak's spy due to his capability to observe over extensive distances. Interestingly, Mantenna's clumsiness often leads to Hordak's frustration, with the Horde leader humorously sending Mantenna through his throne room's trapdoor. Yet, in a twist of fate, Mantenna once manages to turn the tables by sending Hordak down the very trapdoor he often found himself in. Flog. Flog, also known as Brak, is a leader of the evil mutants originating from the planet Denebria, who holds a prominent role in the franchise. Initially depicted as the head of the mutants, Flog orchestrated an attack on Primus, wielding his fearsome weapon, the Terror Claw. However, his leadership was challenged by the arrival of Skeletor, who swiftly took down Flog's henchmen. Flog's intelligence set him apart from his somewhat inept companions, Slushhead and Optic, earning him a demotion to second in command under Skeletor's rule. In conjunction with Skeletor's plans, Flog participated in a scheme to pilfer the valuable Trifusium crystal from the Titus Observatory. During this endeavor, Flog employed his whip to immobilize a technician. The arrival of the Galactic Guardians disrupts his plans, leading to a confrontation in which Flipshot ultimately defeats Flog using the Bowler Jet. Tung Lashor. Another integral member of the Snake Men, Tung Lashor was introduced in 1986 as part of the toy line and is renowned for his extraordinary traits. His most distinctive feature is his elongating tongue, which he employs akin to a versatile tentacle and a whip. This multifunctional appendage also carries a dangerous venom, rendering it poisonous to the touch. In the mini-comic King of the Snake Men, Tung Lashor makes his initial appearance alongside Rattlor, both summoned from a separate dimension by their leader, King Hiss. Despite a brief reference to their past connection with the evil Horde on Etheria, the story unfolded with Tung Lashor and Rattlor reaffirming their loyalty to King Hiss. This allegiance, stemming from their sense of having nowhere else to turn after the banishment of their former leader, showcased the intricate dynamics of the Masters of the Universe. Fanged Man. This distinct blue-skinned reptilian entity played a crucial role as a member of Skeletor's evil warriors. During a pivotal gathering at Snake Mountain, Fanged Man was instrumental in aiding Skeletor's audacious plan to seize control over Eternia. This intricate scheme involved the enigmatic Wheel of Infinity, transporting them back in time to Eternia's ancient past. Their aim was to erect a fortress before Castle Grayskull's creation, harnessing the Wheel's power to ultimately bring about the castle's destruction in the future. As Skeletor oversaw the fortress's construction, Fanged Man took charge of a group of Dragosaurs, exerting control over them to subdue the Snake Clan and Ape Clan territories. He-Man, along with Man-at-Arms, Orko, and Battlecat, embarked on a mission to thwart this malevolent plot. The heroes ventured to Dragosaur Isle to rescue Zalora of the Snake Clan, triggering a heated confrontation. Fangman showcased his command over Dragosaurs, orchestrating a relentless assault on He-Man. However, through strategic teamwork, they managed to incapacitate Fangman's Dragosaurs, allowing He-Man to topple Fangman from his airborne mount. Fangman's defeat ensured the liberation of Zalora and marked a triumph for the forces of good. Terror. This shape-shifting extraterrestrial entity wields an intense sonic roar that leaves adversaries incapacitated. Having been exiled from a dimension inhabited by formless beings, Terror found his way to Eternia in ancient times and clashed with the evil Horde, evil warriors, and Snake Men. Transforming into a composite form adorned with features of various warriors, Terror unleashed a deafening supersonic scream that brought all to their knees. Intrigued, King Hiss intervened to prevent his Snake Men from attacking Terror. Later, Lord Grasp enlisted Terror into the ranks of the Snake Men, employing his unique ability as a covert weapon. However, the valiant trio of Slamurai, Strobo, and Plasma unveiled Terror's vulnerability to intense light, greatly weakening him. Originally part of the planned but unreleased 1988 Masters of the Universe toy line, Terror was finally named and introduced in 2017, featured alongside Lord Grasp and Plasma in a 3-pack release. Gator. Gator the Harpy serves as the second in command to her sister Hunger on Talon Mountain, although they're aligned with the cause of the evil Horde. When the Horde successfully captured Castle Bright Moon and the leader Angela vanished during the confrontation, it was later revealed that Angela had been taken captive by Hunger. Upon receiving news that He-Man and She-Ra were en route to Talon Mountain, riding on the back of Swiftwind, Hunger commanded her sister Gator to rally their fellow Harpy sisters and engage the heroes in battle. However, He-Man and She-Ra managed to skillfully outmaneuver the Harpies, causing them to collide with each other and thwarting their attack. Lord Grasp. Lord Grasp, a strategic and sinister member of the Snake Men, possesses a deadly capture claw in place of one hand. Renowned for his cunning, he forges alliances with both the Snake Men and the evil Horde, even securing a partnership with Horde Prime. Arriving on Eternia, he orchestrated a convergence of King Hiss and Hordax forces, resulting in a mighty coalition that wreaked havoc. However, this alliance was eventually thwarted by the combined efforts of the heroic warriors and evil warriors. After escaping the spell of separation in the second ultimate battleground, Lord Grasp aligned with Lady Slither and assisted her in her quest to conquer Eternia. Originally conceived as an unnamed character for the 1988 Masters of the Universe toy line, Lord Grasp was depicted in unreleased cardback artwork by Errol McCarthy. Wolf Demon. This fearsome entity was conjured forth from a netherrealm by the malevolent sorcerer Kothos, bound to carry out his sinister commands. One such command was to acquire the precious Fountain of Life from its sacred abode in Aridan's temple. Even the vigilant guardsmen found themselves powerless against its might. However, it was the skilled wizard Malak, hailing from Stone Mountain, who intervened. Utilizing his magical prowess, Malak crafted a spell that banished the wolf demon, forcing it back to the realm from whence it was summoned. Melog. A Melog is a unique being composed of both mud and magic, devoid of its own life, yet possessing the extraordinary ability to absorb the strengths, skills, and capabilities of those it touches. Originating from a creative concept within Shadow Weaver's mind, inspired by Modulok's computer, the Melog was summoned into existence by Shadow Weaver's incantation near Skullpath's nearby swamp. Crafty and devious, Shadow Weaver's scheme involved orchestrating an encounter between She-Ra and the Melog. Concealing the creature within the shell of a Horde tank, the plan unfolded with precision. She-Ra, unsuspecting, dismantled the tank using her sword of protection, unveiling the Melog within. In an instant, the Melog made contact with She-Ra, absorbing her strength and transforming into a more feminine form, and showcased its newfound power by flinging the tank's shell at She-Ra. She-Ra sought guidance from Light Hope about the Melog, while its personality underwent transformation, evinced by its interaction with an Etherian bird. The crafty Shadow Weaver baited She-Ra yet again, this time disguising the Melog as a Horde trooper in the village of Devlan. An intense clash ensued, and She-Ra was ensnared in a force beam generator. A village girl became embroiled in the conflict. She-Ra understood the Melog's similarities to her own emotions, urging the creature to explore its true feelings. Powered by She-Ra's encouragement, the Melog freed her from captivity. Following a transformative journey, She-Ra used the power of Grayskull to grant the Melog physical existence. Now embodied, the Melog embraced its newfound sensations, distinct with red hair and a unique voice. She-Ra extended an invitation to join the Great Rebellion, but the Melog desired to explore life and emotions independently first. She set out on a quest of self-discovery, eager to comprehend the meaning of her newfound existence. With a promise of return, She-Ra welcomed the Melog to rejoin the rebellion after her exploration. He-Slave. He-Slave emerged as an uncanny duplicate of He-Man and was ingeniously crafted using a purloined geneticator, a creation of the scientist Grasnor intended to remedy maladies. A confrontation unfolded between He-Man and his replicated counterpart. Astonishingly, He-Slave possessed an uncanny understanding of He-Man's actions, making him an exceedingly formidable adversary. However, Skeletor's impatience grew, prompting a treacherous twist. Seeking to obliterate both copies, Skeletor attempted to seize victory in one fell swoop. Yet, a profound change overcame He-Slave in that moment. Consumed by a surge of resentment, He-Slave defied his creator, directing his fury towards Skeletor. The ensuing turmoil culminated in a climactic confrontation, symbolized by the decisive fall of a massive solar generator. While He-Slave ultimately perished in the ensuing explosion, Skeletor endured, emerging from the ordeal victorious and vengeful. Pig-Boy. This evil warrior found himself summoned to Castle Grayskull by Evil Lyn, who had ascended to the role of its new sorceress under the command of Skelligod. The fateful meeting took a dramatic turn when Skelligod abruptly stormed into the castle, seizing Sorceress Lyn by the throat and unsettling the gathering. In a subsequent encounter, Pig-Boy and Goatman confronted Teela, Andra, and Duncan within the depths of Castle Grayskull's dungeons. Goatman, the ringleader, issued a deadly command to Pig-Boy, urging him to unleash a lethal bolt of energy from his staff to eliminate the heroic warriors. Hunger. Hunger was the leader of the Harpies dwelling on Talon Mountain and stood as a sworn adversary of Queen Angela from Castle Brightmoon. Despite their detachment from the evil Horde, the Harpies maintained a loose alignment with their course. Following the Horde's conquest of Brightmoon and Angela's enigmatic disappearance during the battle, it later emerged that she was under Hunger's captivity. In her sinister role, Hunger subjected Angela to the role of a slave, keeping her bound and stifling her magical abilities with a constrictive collar. Amusing herself by pelting Angela with fruit peels, Hunger reveled in her cruel dominance. The ensuing aerial battle saw He-Man and She-Ra strategically outmaneuver the Harpies, causing them to collide mid-flight. Upon reaching Hunger's throne room, a seemingly defeated Angela lay on the ground, a ruse orchestrated orchestrated by the crafty Hunger. With magic scepter in hand, Hunger aimed to ensnare the rescuers within stalagmites, only to have the heroes swiftly break free and deflect her spells with their swords. Upon rescuing the real Angela and liberating her from the collar's grip, the heroes apprehended Hunger, leaving her bound within her own chambers. Jawbreaker. This imposing robotic entity serves under the command of the Slave Master, possessing the ability to morph his clawed hands into an array of weapons, from sleep-inducing gas projectors to net launchers, flamethrowers, stun beams, and buzzsaws. Jawbreaker's prowess is matched only by his lack of intellect, rendering him susceptible to deception. When the Slave Master took Orko captive, he expressed dissatisfaction with the Trollan's performance in the mines. Jawbreaker received orders to apprehend Eternia's mightiest warrior, and with his sights set on He-Man, he accomplished his task. However, He-Man outwitted Jawbreaker by allowing himself to be caught, then swiftly breaking free from his constraints. He defeated Jawbreaker after the robot transported him to the mines. Subsequently, both Jawbreaker and the Slave Master faced justice as they were brought to Castle Grayskull. There, the sorceress dispatched them back to their own realm to stand trial for their transgressions. Mask. Mask aligned with Chakotay to operate in the shadows during the emergence of the House of Darkness from the sands of time. To deter any probing into the ancient tomb, Mask took proactive measures. When Malactha led an archaeological expedition to uncover the House of Darkness, Mask orchestrated a diversion by collaborating with Trapjaw to assault a desert fortress. Adopting the guise of a local guide named Raka, he cunningly lured them into an ambush plotted by the Reptile Men. Successfully raising the House of Darkness, Mask's triumph was short-lived. His downfall ensued as Orko managed to unmask him, revealing the demon mask beneath. This allowed He-Man to cleave the mask in twain with the power sword. The mask's destruction left Mask as nothing but dissipating smoke and a discarded pile of garments. At the end, Malactha mused that Mask embodied more of a malevolent spectre than a corporeal being. Monteague. This deceptively sinister being harbored malevolent intentions of amassing a nefarious army under his command and shared a history with Skeletor, the two once collaborating to overthrow Good King Archibald. Following this coup, Monteague embarked on a quest to assemble warriors from various corners of space and time, bending them to his will and creating an army of evil. His ranks consisted of so-called space villains, drawn from different planets within the Milky Way, including Oro, the betrayer of Orion, Ringus, Saturn's enslaver, and Cygnus, the infamous Red Demon of Mars. Among his champions were figures plucked from ancient Earth's history, the notorious pirate Blackbeard and the Carthaginian general Hannibal, accompanied by his formidable elephant Mount Herc, both unwilling participants in Monteague's sinister schemes. Upon learning about the legendary hero He-Man, Monteague visited Skeletor at Snake Mountain, assessing the possibility of recruiting Eternia's greatest champion into his ranks. Disguised as an innocuous figure, Monteague manipulated trust to mask his true intentions and assume an air of innocence when his orchestrated dangers loomed. Despite his diminutive stature, Monteague wielded potent dark magic capable of rivaling even Skeletor's. Ultimately, He-Man thwarted Monteague's control and triumphed over his champions, liberating the captives ensnared by Monteague's influence and dissolving his malevolent grasp on his ill-fated recruits.
I don't care.
Morningstar. Morningstar, a member of the Dragons of Darksmoke, held disdain for the age-old treaty between his kin and the Eternians. Driven by a belief in his race's destined dominance, he harbored a grudge against Granomir, the dragon's leader. Morningstar conspired to challenge Granomir's authority and provoke a war between humans and dragons. He manipulated a mortal named Targon, promising power in exchange for an ice crystal to undermine Granomir's might, but froze Targon with the crystal's magic after obtaining it. Undeterred, he infiltrated Granomir's lair and extinguished the ancient dragon's flame. Falsely accusing humans, Morningstar incited dragon rage during a celebration attended by He-Man and Man-at-Arms. Gathering his followers, he advocated for war and sought to conquer Eternia from an underground stronghold. He clashed with He-Man and his allies, only to face Granomir's wrath. Morningstar's deceit was exposed, and he faced a trial of fire, ultimately conceding to his crime and seeking mercy.
Kraken, the biggest sea monster on Eternia.
Kraken. This fabled sea monster is believed to inhabit the Crystal Sea. It launched an assault on an Eternian vessel en route to Selkie Island, where Man-at-Arms' invention, the variable high-frequency oscillator, was being transported. Merman seized both Teela and the device, utilizing the VHO's power to control the Kraken, coercing it to confront He-Man. Unlike the traditional depiction of a colossal squid, this rendition featured in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe took on the form of a dragon-like creature with a bird-like beak, 4 arms, no legs, and a fish-like tail.
Your fall, He-Man, a fall forever.
Dragoon. This unique amalgamation of man and dragon was dispatched to Troller by Skeletor with a sinister mission to harness the energy of the Trollans. His captive was Driel, whose energy he sought to drain at his fortress. The timely arrival of Orko, Prince Adam, and Cringer coincided with Adam's transformation into He-Man. While Orko worked to assist Driel, He-Man engaged Dragoon in combat near the treacherous bottomless hole of Troller. During the confrontation, He-Man deftly deflected the boulders hurled by Dragoon, one of which nearly jeopardized Battle Cat's safety. The climactic moment arrived when Dragoon's final boulder, ensnared in vines, led to his own entanglement and near fall into the abyss. He-Man, however, extended a hand of mercy, saving Dragoon from his perilous predicament. Dragoon questioned the hero's altruism, to which He-Man responded that despite their adversarial roles, he held no animosity. Dragoon contemplated the idea of sparing lives and, with He-Man's encouragement, considered a change of heart. Expressing gratitude, Dragoon hinted at his willingness to alter his ways as He-Man departed.
As you can see, I'm back.
Dark Dream. Dark Dream once menaced Eternia, but was thwarted and imprisoned by Man-at-Arms. Escaping later, he coerced Tavor and Evil Lyn to shroud the world in eternal darkness, seeking his advantage. His thirst for power led to a reckless scheme of repositioning a moon to trigger a solar eclipse. However, the magic's instability caused the moon's perilous descent, leading He-Man to intervene, averting disaster and ending Dark Dream's ambitions as daylight was restored to Eternia, sealing his final defeat.
I am Negator, future master of all Eternia.
Negator. Confident in his ambition to rule Eternia, Negator continually seeks fresh resources for his objectives, often clashing with He-Man. Assisted by his devoted electronic energy minions, the Nerbs, Negator commands their extra strength to execute his will. His initial encounter with He-Man was sparked by his fascination with Man-at-Arms' Beam Ray, a device capable of piercing through stone. An attempt to coerce its inventor into his service failed, leading Negator to destroy a dam in an attempt to eliminate him. He-Man intervened, diverting the floodwaters to thwart his scheme. Disguised as a royal guard, Negator kidnapped Teela, demanding Man-at-Arms cooperation for her release. He-Man, Ram Man, and Battle Cat embarked on a rescue mission, confronting Negator in his desert hideout. Battling through his maze, they outsmarted his challenges and confronted him. In a final showdown, He-Man crippled Negator's computer, causing him to flee as it erupted in flames. An unexpected return saw Negator targeting Sunstone's energy, only to have his plan backfire when Prankster intervened. Absorbed by the Sunstone, Negator vanished, leaving uncertainty about his eventual return.
Oh, everybody makes mistakes.
Tavor, a malevolent sorcerer, once aligned with Dark Dream, had his magical powers curtailed by the sorceress due to his misdeeds. Upon Dark Dream's resurgence to menace Eternia, Tavor joined forces with Evil Lyn to execute their master's bidding. Their scheme hinged on manipulating Eternia's moon, a task within Tavor's magical prowess. Initiating a solar eclipse, the magic's instability led the moon perilously close to Eternia. Despite Tavor's efforts, He-Man intervened, averting disaster and restoring daylight. Slushhead, also known as Calamar, served as a dim-witted enforcer within Flogg's mutant faction. Despite his lack of intellect, he held the position of second-in-command under Flogg's leadership and operated as the co-pilot of the mutant mothership. Frequently engaged in disputes with fellow mutant Optic, Slushhead's allegiance shifted when Skeletor gained control over him. Ordered by Skeletor, Slushhead and Optic attempted to deploy the Terrorclaw against He-Man and KO, but were subdued by Flipshot's bowler jet weapon. Skeletor later employed them in an attack on the Titus Observatory, where Slushhead's tentacles were used to incapacitate a technician before being defeated by Hydron's Astro Sub. Andross played a significant role among Skeletor's evil warriors, leading a group of Ram-like warriors in his service. His introduction occurred in the inaugural episode of the New Adventures series when Captain Hydron and Lieutenant Flipshot, time travelers, encountered him upon arriving in Eternia's new era. Andross's forces swiftly apprehended the time travelers and transported them to Snake Mountain, presenting them to Skeletor, believing they'd serve some purpose for his master. However, Skeletor improvised a ruse, posing as a good guy and the ally they sought to save their homeworld, Primus. As Skeletor departed with the prisoners under the guise of friendship, he slyly exchanged a knowing glance with Andross, leaving the latter bewildered by his master's true intentions. Blast Attack, alongside Trapjaw and Whiplash, aligned with Triclops when he established a mechanized cult named Motherboard in a world where magic had dwindled. Paradoxically, Triclops harnessed one of the few remaining magical artifacts on Eternia for the ceremonial wonders of Motherboard. The ritual involved capturing electronic-tinged water that sprang from a grand altar within Snake Mountain, channeling it into a mystical goblet and coercing followers to consume it. Imbibing this water instantly transformed them into cyborgs, with limbs replaced by mechanical weaponry. Teela and Andra, hired by the enigmatic Majestra, infiltrated the Motherboard ceremony in disguise. Teela's diversion provided cover for Andra to approach the goblet. In the ensuing clash, Blast Attack grappled with an electronic time bomb that nearly detonated. He deactivated it after being thrown into a wall by Whiplash. However, subsequent teamwork between Teela and Andra inadvertently reactivated the bomb. Andra ingeniously disabled the bomb's controls with a thrown star, triggering Blast Attack's explosive demise and incapacitating Whiplash.
What we be wanting, you'll be knowing soon.
Blackbeard. Blackbeard, an infamous pirate from Earth's past, found himself enslaved by Monteague, compelled to serve the malevolent being. Despite his legendary persona, Blackbeard's appearance was influenced by futuristic elements, donning advanced armor and a matching helmet. Armed with a cutlass and exuding a swashbuckling demeanor, he was ensnared in Monteague's control. Ultimately, He-Man shattered the dome containing Monteague's captive army, liberating Blackbeard's spirit from his forced servitude. This pivotal event unfolded in the Eternian region of Polonia. Barton. From the UK comic tale The Slave of Skeletor, Barton emerges as a notorious intergalactic outlaw chased by 53 Deep Space World's law enforcement. After Skeletor's spell diverts these lawmen, it allows him to capture Barton and learn of his cosmic converter. This device compels obedience to the holder's words. Skeletor, aided by Stinkor, seizes it to control He-Man. As a pawn in Skeletor's plot, Barton's fate unfolds. Exiled to space, he faces his criminal past's consequences. Majestra. In the original animated series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Majestra mysteriously arrived at the Eternian Palace, offering a magical display. Her impressive feat sparked both Orko's jealousy and the royal family's fascination. Later, Majestra invited King Randor to participate in her next illusion, making him vanish and reappear within her Cabinet of Wonders. Unveiling her true form, Majestra was revealed as the witch Evil Lyn, wielding the potent Shaping Staff. Her illusions concealed her plot to replace Randor with a disguised Beast Man. Unmasked by Orko, Evil Lyn abandoned her charade and faced He-Man's opposition. Lodar. Lodar, the primary antagonist in the mini-comic Slave City, seized control of Targus City with his kobold army, enslaving its inhabitants. Capturing an amnesiac He-Man, Lodar forced him into combat against another captive named Garn in an arena. After recovering his memories, He-Man triumphed but refused to take Garn's life. Instead, he challenged Lodar and emerged victorious. Witnessing their master's defeat, the kobolds fled. Banished underground, Lodar lost his ability to harness magic without the sun and moon's influence. Originally a gladiator named Lodar in Preternia's slave city Targa, he stole magic from Zodak, gaining the ability to draw power from celestial bodies. Conquering Targa, he created the loyal kobold warriors and relished in the arena battles he once fought. Later freed and returned to power by Queen Belina and Draka, he helped them seize Targa's throne, only to face defeat by He-Man and Garn's alliance, which sent him back to the catacombs. Aquaticans. The Aquaticans, a fish-like race, were governed by their ruler, Merman, the ocean warlord, within the realms of Eternia's Crystal Sea. In the era preceding the revelation, Merman, alongside Skeletor and Evil Lyn, hijacked the opulent liner Sea Eagle as it ventured into his dominion. The Crystal Sea and the Aquatican subordinates secured He-Man and Teela with enchanted cuffs, fueled by a magic crystal. Plunged into the water, the heroes faced peril, but timely intervention by Man-at-Arms, equipped with specialized scuba gear, thwarted their demise. Aboard the Sea Eagle, the heroic warrior swiftly overpowered Skeletor, Merman, and his forces. Years later, Teela found herself recalling the past while traversing the Crystal Sea with an unconventional crew comprising Evil Lyn, Andra, Orko, Beastman, and Roboto, who manned the ship. Yet again targeted by Aquatican assailants led by an aged, battle-worn Merman, the day was saved by the sudden appearance of Man-at-Arms, as history repeated itself.
Bridges closed!
Asdar. Asdar, a purple-skinned giant in the 200th cartoon episode Buzz-Off's Pride, is voiced by Richard Newman. Recognizable by his short ponytail, Asdar is one of the trio that includes giants who pilfered the crystal of Prasinus from the village of Veridas. While not their leader, he emerges as Buzz-Off's primary adversary in the episode and is notable for his role within Skeletor's Council of Evil.
Who's Rakaz?
Rakaz is Rakaz.
Rakaz is a feral man of animalistic appearance, sporting baldness atop his head while a mane of grey hair extends down his neck and spine. His attire includes a skull-adorned mantle, gauntlets made from the claws of Cringer, and trousers. Concealing his eyes behind red-lensed goggles, he's scarred across exposed skin. Rakaz truly enjoys dominating animals, pitting them against each other. He bears grudges for singling out Cringer, who escaped his control. More beast than man, he speaks in third person and behaves predatorily. Once a hunter, he controlled captive tigers, but his spells were broken by He-Man and allies. Later, manipulated by Evil Lyn and Cronus, he transformed into Beastman, becoming a key member of Skeletor's Dark Masters. Isa. In the sole episode, The Ice Age Cometh, of the OG cartoon series, this villain serves as Skeletor's Arctic agent, dwelling in Eternia's northern realms. Sporting an Eskimo-like appearance, he wears a fuzzy hood and boasts an ice blue body, seemingly composed of ice. His chilling touch can freeze living beings, and he morphs into water puddles to slide under barriers. Camouflaging in icy landscapes, he manipulates ice and snow, but heat is his weakness. As the episode's main antagonist, he seizes the Eternian weather station, unleashing a snowstorm on Eternia. Voiced by John Irwin in a cold, monotonous tone, his humorously witty dialogue contrasts his menacing demeanor, making him both memorable and intriguing. Spydra. Spydra, an evil witch of Eternia, shares a connection with Azrog, a notorious criminal and wizard from Trolla. Seeking refuge, Azrog ensconces himself in Spydra's castle after escaping Montauk's prison and inadvertently arriving at Eternia's royal palace. Under his enchantment, Spydra becomes his enslaved puppet. Azrog dispatches his pet, Karg, to assail He-Man, Teela, and Montauk. Meanwhile, Orko sneaks into Spydra's trove and employs her wand on enchanted beans, triggering uncontrollable vine growth. Although ensnared by the vines, Spydra retrieves her wand, dispelling them. While Azrog awaits Montauk's return, he deploys Spydra to confront He-Man and Teela. Their triumph shatters her wand. Eventually, Azrog is recaptured, leading to Spydra's return to Trolla alongside him.
Your tricks will not help you this time, warrior woman. Look out, Tura!
Grox. Grox is the devoted subject of Argo, the Troll King, residing among his fellow trolls at Spikeheart. In the presence of She-Ra's quest to locate the Crystal Castle, Grox stands as a formidable guardian, obstructing her path. He voices skepticism, alleging She-Ra's aggression, yet Argo discerns her benevolence. Later, dispatched by the Troll King, Grox delivers a crucial message to Whispering Woods, seeking She-Ra's audience to share Argo's foreboding dream. Instructed by Adora, She-Ra, Bo, Cowl, and Spragg accompany Grox to Spikeheart, where Argo's revelation compels them to thwart the awakening of the malevolent Spider of Crystal in Skullpath's Shadow Kingdom. Amid their journey, Grox's intervention saves Bo and Spragg from Duke Dreer's bone bats, cementing their newfound camaraderie. Despite initial mistrust, mutual cooperation against Shadow Weaver's dark magic culminates in the entrapment of the Spider, fostering an enduring bond between trolls and the Great Rebellion. General Tataran. General Tataran leads an unscrupulous goblin army hailing from the planet Venator, devoid of compassion due to their heartlessness. He often commands from the back of a creepy Venatarian thunder lizard in battle. These mercenaries, under Tataran's command, frequently align with Skeletor's malevolent forces on Eternia. In a treacherous nocturnal assault on the royal palace, Tataran's goblins aim to seize King Randor and Queen Marlena. Foiled by He-Man and an extraterrestrial entity, their wicked ambitions were thwarted, and they were banished. In another scheme, Tataran cunningly posed as a human, feigning his own demise after He-Man's clash with Skeletor caused a structure to collapse. This deception played on He-Man's guilt, making him believe his actions had tragically taken an innocent life. Slave Master. This malevolent interstellar cyborg voyages across planets, ensnaring inhabitants in his enslavement scheme to exploit their labor for valuable minerals. Despite not possessing the physical stature of his henchman Jawbreaker, Slave Master navigates on a heavily fortified hover chair, bristling with weaponry. Upon imprisoning Orko, the Slave Master was unimpressed with the Trollan's mining efforts. He dispatched Jawbreaker to capture Eternia's mightiest He-Man. Planning to abscond with riches within 48 hours, He-Man, who had deliberately been captured to rescue Orko, liberated the enslaved miners, vanquished the Slave Master's robot guards, and decimated his hover chair. Subsequently, both the Slave Master and Jawbreaker were seized and transported to Castle Grayskull. There, the sorceress transported them back to their homeworld for a reckoning of their crimes. Geldor. In The Secret Liquid of Life, Eldor emerges as the central antagonist who's driven by a quest for eternal life and seeks the elusive location of life-bestowing liquid from Torgal. Employing cunning tactics, he employs his sorcerer to conjure a false image of Marin, Torgal's daughter, in captivity. This ruse coerces Torgal into revealing that the coveted liquid is concealed within the Ogre's cavern in the Mystic Mountains. Guided by Marin's fiancé, Prince Dakon, the heroic warriors set out to reach the cavern. However, Geldor arrives on the scene, seizing Teela and Marin, this time for real. When He-Man appears to hand over the liquid, he deftly drops it at Geldor's feet. As the liquid touches the ground, a small plant metamorphoses into a tree that engulfs Geldor. His Masters of the Universe Classics bio confirms his survival, marking a twist in his fate. Shadowwing. This frightening dragon with dark teal skin once inhabited Eternia's Dark Smoke realm and clashed with Granomir in the past. Driven by a deep loathing for his fellow Dark Smoke dragons, he aimed to obliterate them. But his malevolent ambitions were thwarted, and he found himself ensnared within an inscribed obelisk. Tales of his deeds echoed in future legends. Ages later, The envious wizard Zem sought to unleash Shadow King, hoping to disrupt the impending marriage of Torm and Lyra. Zem succeeded, unleashing the vengeful dragon. In his newfound freedom, Shadow Wing vowed to obliterate Darksmoke, aided by Zem. However, Zem's duplicity became apparent when he was turned into a toad. Arriving at Darksmoke, Shadow Wing's lightning struck the castle, awakening Granimir's protege, Torm. Shadow Wing petrified Torm and cast a spell freezing Brindle. He-Man confronted the dragon, but his efforts were repelled. Shadow Wing's destruction of the Wind Raider led to Granimir's intervention. The ancient Red Dragon's might prevailed, banishing Shadow Wing to his rightful place, the realm of demons. Scorpia, another member of the Horde. Scorpia embodies a unique blend of human and scorpion attributes. Residing within the Crimson Waste, she exerts authority by owning slaves, signifying her significant influence on Etheria. Her home resembles a colossal scorpion and houses a throne, hinting at her territorial rule. Scorpia harbors an intense rivalry with Catra and begrudgingly collaborates when necessary. Sporting claw-like pincers for hands and a potent tail, she captures rebellion members. Her tail, though powerful, proves a vulnerability against She-Ra. Despite her lack of astuteness, Scorpia wields the Crawler, a scorpion-shaped tank armed with a sleep ray. Notably, her gullibility surfaces when she allows Bo to infiltrate the Horde's secret factory, believing him to be an inspector. Revolton. This villain led the robot bounty hunters, a squad of androids devoted to the enigmatic figure known as the Great One. Artilla of the Galactic Guardians once belonged to this group but severed his connections, fleeing to Primus. Revolton's crew, similar in design to Artilla but less advanced, crossed paths with him on Denebria. Collaborating with Skeletor and former Mayor Korak, they overpowered Artilla and Ambassador Bimo of Necron. Revolton intended to compel Artilla's return to the service of the Great One. However, a timely intervention by Korak enabled Bimo to utilize a potent magnet, deactivating the robots and thwarting their plans. Pravus. This powerful warlord rose to prominence on Eternia after the emergence of the Mystic Wall. He employed terror to expand his dominion, subjugating various regions. A chance encounter with the Pelesian Oedipus led him to target a village storing weapons. As his warriors plundered, Oedipus offered his allegiance, but Pravus remained focused on conquest. Amidst the attack, a young human sorceress intervened, thwarting Pravus's forces effortlessly. Despite his attempts, Pravus fell before her might and retreated with his warriors. Subsequently, he allied with fellow warlords, unleashing the great unrest across Eternia by sowing chaos in other lands. Nerbs. These are enigmatic and diminutive beings who serve Negator as both spies and power sources. These hooded creatures communicated in a unique speech pattern, carrying an air of mystery. Composed of electronic energy, they fulfilled their role by granting Negator added strength. Upon his command, they would align and emit energy from their radiant eyes to empower him. When Negator confronted He-Man directly, the Nerbs displayed unparalleled loyalty, sacrificing themselves to amplify their master's abilities. Their selflessness drained them completely, causing them to wither into empty cloaks, leaving behind a poignant reminder of their devotion. Nepthu. Dedicated to Count Marzo, Nepthu suffered greatly when his master was robbed of power, vowing vengeance. Lacking his own magical prowess, he scoured the sands of fire and time, aging himself in the process. At the Temple of the Sun, he discovered the Sun Scarab, rejuvenating him into a youthful wizard driven by a thirst for universal dominance. But He-Man shattered the Scarab, rendering Nepthu powerless. However, his allegiance shifted to King Hiss during the second ultimate battleground, rejuvenating his magic. Nepthu wields potent abilities, including freezing energy beams, thwarting telepathy, and conjuring sand armies. His complex journey spans devotion, rejuvenation, and alliance shifts, encapsulating the intricate layers of his character. Marvelous verdict. By now, we can definitely come to a mutual conclusion that the villains of the He-Man universe form a diverse and intriguing ensemble, each bringing their unique motives, powers, and personalities to the battleground of Eternia. From the ruthless Skeletor, intent on conquering Castle Grayskull's secrets, to dark sorceresses like Evil Lyn and enigmatic figures like Count Marzo and King Hiss, they all challenge He-Man and his allies with a range of magical abilities, advanced technology, and strategic prowess. These roster of villains often forge alliances and rivalries that drive the narrative forward, from Skeletor's evil warriors to characters like Scorpia, Clawful, and Trapjaw. As they clash with heroes in a constant struggle between good and evil, the He-Man villains contribute depth, tension, and excitement to the captivating world of Eternia. Now that we've come to the very end of this video, who, according to you, are the top 5 most underrated He-Man antagonists from this list? Please let us know in the comment box below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.